Perfect. So here we have the great Mr. Neil Raeburn coming through, up and coming boxer. Just completed the first 12 weeks of the Fighters and Champions Academy, where we're getting mentally and physically fit. And just wanted to, again, thanks for jumping on today. And
War.
just wanted to use this opportunity to just get the public to know a bit more about yourself, your story, your journey, and tell me, like, obviously we've been working together for the past like 12 weeks now. We wanted to find out like what got you interested first, like how your passionate interest for boxing began.
Well, it really like we were talking about last week. It was really about 5 years ago, because I'm in my mid-40s, and it was about 5 years ago that I'd had like issues with depression and mental health. I was unemployed at the time. I was 20 stone. I was really struggling. I was staying with my mother, and I just decided that maybe I wanted to get fit, and I just started doing couch to 5K. And at the time, I couldn't run. I couldn't run more than like a couple of minutes without stopping. And I started like running for a minute, then walking for a minute. I just kept that going for a couple of months. And like then I started doing other stuff as well, like strength kind of work with weights and stuff. And then I done a 5K, and I kept the running going. And after about a year or so, maybe a year, 2 years, I done my first 10K, and I done it in 64 minutes. And after that, I'd always had an interest in boxing. I'd always been a footballer, like a very, not a great footballer, but that had been like my sport. And I always kind of thought that like boxing wasn't for me, like I wasn't tough enough. I wasn't fit enough. I would never be able to do it. And then I got a punch bag, and just because I says, right, I'm going to do this, because I built up the confidence that I could try boxing. And there was also a local gym round the corner that I started going to, and just it was a mental health class, and I started done a few classes, and then I started going more often. And what happened was, like, boxing became part of my fitness routine. So I was like doing it like 3 or 4 times a week. And then I was also, because that sparked the interest, I was also using like online sort of, because there's so much out there in terms of learning materials about boxing on the internet now, because you've got Tony Jeffries, you've got Fran Sands, so these type of guys, I used them, and I was just like building, because I had a base of fitness through my running. I found that was helping me learning boxing as well. So it was just a case of like building the boxing for the ground up. It was like how to move, moving forward, moving backwards. And then just as the more I done it, boxing, the more I learned. And then, it was about 3 months ago that, I found yourself on Instagram, and, you contacted me and said what I was interested in and the training I was doing. And like one of the reasons that, I signed up with yourself was just to, maybe take it a bit further, to see how far I can go, how to learn more, and, eventually get in the ring, which was my major ambition and still is, to have a proper contest. But to go into that contest being, trained properly, being prepared, went through camps, done all the cardio, working on technique. And I think, like, over the last 12 weeks, it's been challenging, because in my personal life as well, like, my mental health's been really poor. But what's helped me with that has been the mindset training of train like a fighter, think like a champion. So that's in terms of using the affirmations, setting goals, and trying to build that consistency. And what's happened over the last 12 weeks is that it's probably the most consistent I've ever been in terms of I'm training most days, and I'm working on different aspects of boxing as well, like the defense, slipping, movement, parrying, improving the jab, and then the combinations has been a big factor for me as well, because when I was sparring previously and when I had been boxing, I was found that I was comfortable with my defence, but I was struggling with my attack. So what's happened with learning the combinations, being able to put combinations together, it's going to give me more of a threat if I do compete, or when I do compete, then I've got that in my locker, that I can go back to these combinations that I've learned. And it's just a case of because boxing, what I found is there's so much out there, and there's so much to learn, and there's so much they call it sweet science, and it's really technical a lot of times. But what I've found is just focusing on the basics and learning to do them well, and then after that, you can learn different elements of the sport. So what I'm aiming now, we've completed the 12 weeks and training, and I said to yourself, that it was my ambition that I wanted to, to compete in a boxing match. And then, there is a possibility that I could compete in an event in London at O2. And I mean, that was just more than I would ever. If you said to me 4 years ago, or if you said to me a year ago that I could compete at, in a boxing match at the O2, I would have laughed. I would say that's not possible. But now, that's what we're working on. And, it's a case of now that the hard work starts. It's a continual process. It's not like completed 12 weeks, we're going to give up. We're going to try and keep going, compete in front of an audience, and that would just be amazing.
Absolutely.
So that was part of what we were doing about the visualization. Is I could see myself competing in a boxing match, and I have thought about that quite a lot. And that's one of the things that keeps me going. Well, if I train today, train tomorrow, train the next day, just get that consistency going, then that might happen. Whereas, previous it was I can't be really bothered training. There's a show on Netflix, I might want to watch that. And I found that I've been training even when I don't want to, and that's a good thing as well.
Absolutely. Mike Tyson used to have a saying about that around discipline, being discipline is doing what you don't want to do, but doing it like you love it.
Yeah.
Exactly. So going back onto that consistency part, because thanks for your answer. Literally, you've pretty much ticked off my next 3 or 4 questions.
That's all right.
No, that's perfect. So speaking more around the consistency, see that's something that you've seen. What other results have you sort of noticed or got over the last 12 weeks? Whether that's physical or mental, what are some of the benefits you've noticed from the training and the coaching?
So for the last 12 weeks, I'd say physically, it's just because I've been doing a lot more, doing consistent with my cardio and shadow boxing and on the bag as well. So I've just I felt I'm becoming a bit faster in my movement and in terms of in my speed, and that goes for running as well. My times are basically coming down from my 5Ks. Sprinting, which is probably the hardest part of the training, that's really tough because you're at your maximum capacity. That's when you feel, when you're sprinting, that's when you feel like your lungs you feel it in your chest that you know it's starting to hurt. So definitely I feel physically just a bit sharper, and I think I've found that when I've been shadow boxing as well on the bag. I find myself that I'm a bit sharper moving around. My hand speed's got a bit quicker, and I think one of the main things that I would take for the training is the mental side. Like I touched on before, it's the terms of like being consistent and then having that focus that, you know, I'm going to train today. I'm going to do my my cardio. I'm going to do my boxing training. I'm going to do my strength training as well. So it's got that I'm training consistently, like 2 hours a day now. And sometimes I think, oh, that's not enough. I'll beat myself up, say, oh, maybe I should be doing more. But it's like, if you get that base 2 hours a day in, then I think it's going to stand me in good stead if I do achieve that on a consistent basis. And that's where, like, the things from the training, like the affirmations, like, I must do this, I can do this, even when you don't want to.
No, I love that. And so, speaking on affirmations, you've affirmed it already, visualization. Next step is, about working towards a bout at the O2. So again, shout out DK and Plush Promotions. We're chasing you. We're trying to get that position, that opportunity to box on your show. But yeah, talk me through, and with that visualization, before you kind of share your story of what it's going to be like at the O2. I want to almost bring us back to the affirmation and visualization, which is often famously remembered by Muhammad Ali when he was trying to get his fight with Joe Frazier, and when he went on the Howard Cosell's show trying to get it done, and he says, Ali meets Frazier, but Frazier goes back to retreat. If he steps an inch further, he'll be up in the ringside seat. He's like, Frazier swings with the left. He swings with the right. Oh, look at Ali carry the fight. And again, I can't do the rest of it because I don't know the whole sentence. But that is again another example of affirmations and visualizations, along with goal setting. The four keys of self mastery: the affirmations, visualization, goal setting, and physiology, i.e., taking action. That all being put into play. Ali had the goal. He wanted to get back in the ring, become world champion again. Yeah. He affirmed it on public TV. He expressed it, and you could even visualize it as he was talking about the fight. It's only a matter of time until Ali lays down the boom, as he says.
Yeah.
And then physiology, actually taking the actions and the steps necessary to achieve those goals. So if we were to use that same, illustration and share that in terms of on your journey, I'm not asking you to do it in poetry like we did, but yeah, talk me through what that day would look like for you when you're having your first boxing match, when you're winning, stepping in the ring, when you're winning it. I'm there in your corner. Talk me through it. How do you visualize it?
Yeah, so it's just like, it's something that, I've always thought about, like, what's it like, for coming down to London and then maybe having a couple of friends with me, and then you would have the excitement about you're going to the fight, and then you're arriving, walking up to the O2, which it's like quite a grand arena. It was like, I was actually at the O2 in April to watch Anthony Joshua, and to go down there, and all right, it's then they'll go to, but to go in the same sort of arena, that would be amazing. And then I've always thought about, like, when I'm training and after I've completed the training, the visualization of what's it going to be like actually going to a fight, because it's fine, like, training on the bag and everything's nice, it's perfect. But like, I know for sparring that when you're actually competing, that's the hardest place you'll box is boxing someone else. And I know that it's like, you can learn, like, if you go into the times I have went into sparring, it's like I've found it difficult at times. And whereas you're on the bag, you know, everything's great. You're moving around, you're getting the combos off, but there's nothing coming back.
Mm.
And so just, you know, visualizing what step into the fight environment. So like being in the dressing room, all the people are there, getting my hands wrapped, you know, warming up, what music would I have in the dressing room, what music would I walk out to, you know, being in the corner, and then, you know, being in the actual fight. And, you know, having one thing that I have thought about through the visualization is like, how do you deal with the crowd? How would you deal with a crowd? Because you can't, like, I know for one thing that in boxing you can't get distracted. If you're competing in a match, there's no way you can like stop or take your eye off the ball. It's how am I going to block everything out? So I think about that quite a lot. And then, you know, obviously, if you are going to compete in a fight, then you want to win that fight as well. So it's like, how do you go about winning that fight without being like, because the other guy, he's going to want to win as well, and somebody's got to lose. And so how do you make sure that you're going to be the winner? So it's just like constantly thinking about things like that. What combinations would I use in the fight? How would I slip and roll? What footwork am I going to need to win the fight? So you start thinking things like that. It's like, what if I go into a fight, this guy comes at me and he's really good and he's really aggressive. How am I going to deal with that? Is it going to be footwork? Is it going to be slipping and rolling? Is it going to be counter attacking? So that's another thing, like counter punching, as we've been working a lot on that. And that's a thing that I've always says that, you know, I'll always come back with something. And, you know, even if I got knocked down, I would try and get back up, because that's like the type of character that I've became over the last, you know, 5 years. I've had a lot of setbacks. My dad died, and it's like just dealing with these setbacks and then coming back, keeping going, you know, never giving up. So it's just like thinking, putting all the elements into the fight. So yeah, so that's the next step. And but I think visualization definitely helps with that.
Perfect. And just to sign off, obviously a lot of people are going to be watching this, probably want to support as well for line, follow your journey. So like, where can people sort of follow you in terms of being able to sort of watch your journey, follow your journey as a boxer?
So I've got an Instagram account. It's at Neil Raeburn. I'll put after you post this, I'll put the link up. I don't use it that much, but I'm going to try and use it.
Oh, you muted.
Some comments on there.
Perfect. So,
comments, some videos and stuff.
Perfect. So is that just spelled Neil Raeburn like your name, right? So just Neil
Yeah.
Raeburn.
Yeah.
Perfect. So that's it. So to follow, so I think it's Raeburn Neil at Raeburn Neil on Instagram. So surname first, followed by first name, and then we are all there. But yeah, amazing. Again, so for those who are following, just let yourself know that you've got the passion. If you've got the passion and you've got the interest, follow your goals, make it happen. And then to all the others, well, I'll see you this weekend for our training session.
It'd be great. I'll be looking forward to that.
Stay blessed, everybody.